everybody, I'm Miss Lisa, and this is a Project Fun video. Lately I've been looking around in the children's room in the nonfiction section. Do you know what kind of books are in the nonfiction section of the children's room? They're books about real things. They're books about science and math and history and music and art and so many more things that I can't even name them all. So I decided, we could probably come up with some pretty cool projects with some of these things using some of the books from the nonfiction section. So that is what Project Fun is all about. One of the first things that I went to when I was looking at doing this was books about maps. So we have a whole bunch of books about maps in the map section. One of my favorites is called Mapping Sam, and it's by Joyce Hesselberth. And it's a book about what is where and how to get from here to there. It's a book about a kitty cat that has to get from one place to another, and about all the different kinds of maps he uses and sees to get there. Now you're probably saying, Miss Lisa, we don't really need maps anymore because my parents have a GPS. Well, that's true. Parents do have GPSs, and GPSs are in cars, and everyone seems to have them now. But what happens if the GPS isn't working? You have to be able to figure out how to get from here to where you're going. You have to have some sense of direction and what's in between here and there so you can find your way. And that is what a map does. Even if you only come up with the map in your head, you are developing a map and using a map, and that is not GPS. And so you have to have some sense of mapping skills, and that is what I'm going to show you. So, along with this book, in that very same section, we have this series, and there is Are We There Yet? It's about using maps and scales, and it's by Doreen Gonzalez. We have If Maps Could Talk. It's about using symbols and keys. And then we have Up North and Down South, using map directions, and that's also by Doreen Gonzalez. I think they all are by Doreen Gonzalez. These are really fun to look at, and there's little projects in the back that you can do when you're done looking through them. So I would highly suggest you go and check one of these out. They're really fun books. There's also some other kinds of books. There's books called Maps and Symbols. And there's this kind of map books that have a collection of maps in them, and those are called atlases. And so here's one of those. This is a school atlas, and inside it has all kinds of maps. Maps of countries, maps about climate. Just so much to know about maps. So I think you should go and explore that section of the library. Now, the science of designing maps has a very special name. Do you know what it is? It is called cartography. Kind of a pretty name, isn't it? And the people that design maps, they're called cartographers. And that is what we are going to be today. We are going to be cartographers. Okay. So as you can see behind me, this is my map. This is the map that I came up with. It is a map of my backyard. So here is my deck with my tables and chairs. Here is the side of my barn. I have a couple bushes here. Here's a wood pile. And then I have a little pathway that goes over to my neighbor's house. And then there's some trees. And beyond the trees I have a river. And there's a little path that goes out down to the river, so I drew that in. I hope you can see that. So that is the map that I did to show you. Now, if you've had a chance to go down to the library and get the materials kit for this program, it comes in a bag and it looks something like this. It's called Project Fun, Program Materials for September 23rd. And inside, when you open it up, inside, there is a whole bunch of things in there. But if you don't have that bag, I still think you can do this because these are pretty common, simple materials that I bet you have around your house. So inside, there is one packet called, can you see it? It's called Maps. There's another little packet called Compass. And the third little packet says Secret Message. We're going to work with the Maps packet first. All that's in this packet, and I will tell you in case you didn't get one and you want to pause the video and pull together some materials from home, is a brown piece of paper. And you could use a simple paper bag for that. I also gave supplies a few different pieces of construction paper, different colors, different sizes. I had nothing in mind when I supplied these. I just thought that these would be useful for you to use when you are being a cartographer. And then I supplied a little bag, and in the little bag are some things so that you can make your map be a little bit 3D. I bought some popsicle sticks. There's some toothpicks. And there's some pom-poms. Can you see those pom-poms? And then in the very bottom of the bag, there is some sparkly things I put in. I thought maybe if you wanted to make a flowers or stars or something sparkly, you could glue down a sparkle or two to jazz up your map. And they look something, oh, there's another pom-pom. Looks something like that. There's like a little sparkle of a tree. They're not all shaped like trees. Some are circles, some are flowers. Okay, so that's basically it. So you could run around your house if you didn't get one of these materials bags. Maybe get a brown paper bag. Maybe get some construction paper or colored paper or whatever you happen to have. It doesn't matter. You can do what you want. So what I would like to suggest that we do is that we make a map together. This is the map I made before. And I'm going to put up my brown piece of paper and we are going to make a map together. Think about what you want your map to be. It could be anything. It could be a map of your bedroom. It could be a map of your backyard like mine. It could be a map of your grandparents' house. It could be a map of your walk to somewhere you like to go, like in the woods. Maybe you walk down to a stream or maybe you walk to an ice cream place. I think I'm going to do my map of a walk from my house to a park that's nearby. Now, I don't live in Amherst, so you might not recognize this, but that's okay. All right. I'll just get some sticky paper on here. I put it underneath here. Let's see if I put it here. I think I'm going to take down this map. All right. I'm going to take down that map, and we're going to start over. So, are you coming up with some ideas for your map? Do you know what you want to do? Now remember, you can pause this video anytime you want. So if you want to pause the video so you can think about what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. And there's no right or wrong here. There's only right, because it's your map, your special map that you want to show to somebody. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think that I'm going to put on the map is a pair of scissors. No, I did not supply scissors or glue. I'm hoping that you have scissors and glue at home. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a little square and put a little glue or tape on it. In this case, I'm going to use a little tape. And I'm going to put it right here. Do you know what that is? That's my house on the map. That's where I live. Now, I'm going to take a little square of green paper and I'm going to cut it out like this. I'm going to draw a map or make a map of from my house. Where's my tape? From my house down to the local park, which is just down the street from my house. Now, can I fit every single thing on the map from my house down to this park? Probably not, nor would I want to. It would take forever. But I can put some things, and I can make what is called a key so that I can put symbols on here, and you'll know what they are. And I was just wondering because my computer just changed color a little bit and I thought maybe I'm not filming anymore, but I am filming. So here we go. All right, so this is my house. And when I come out my front door, I go this way and I go down the street and to the park. Pretty simple, right? So this is just the sidewalk. And then there's a crossing, a crosswalk that goes kind of like across like that to the park. And there's a little arch to go in. Now on my way to the park, there's houses. There's a house across the street from me. There's another house. There's a street that goes like this. And then there's more houses all the way down. Same over here. There's a house next to me. There's houses all the way down. Now, you say, Miss Lisa, what's special about this map? Well, I'm going to make it special because I'm going to put a few things in that I think are unique and fun. So let me see. One of the things is down the street from my house, there is a man that lives, and he's a clockmaker. And so, I think what I'm going to do is put a little clock on my map, and that will be his house. That will be the clockmaker's house. And so there's the clockmaker's house. And then another thing that's on the way to my house, on the way to the park from my house, is an ice cream shop. So I think I'm going to put that up here too. So that'll be the ice cream store right there. And maybe I need to make some ice cream. Maybe I'll make strawberry ice cream. Do you think if I make it kind of reddish? That would be the strawberry ice cream. Are you coming up with some good ideas for your map? You see how I'm plotting it out? I kind of decided that I'm going to start at my house and I'm going to end at the park. And I'm going to get some ice cream on the way. So, there's also a crosswalk here, park, because there's a street that goes right there. Now, somebody looking at that probably would be like, what's that? So I'm going to make a little key in the right-hand corner. And I'm going to write the word key. And I'm going to make that a circle equals a house. Now, you don't have to make a key if you don't want to. But if you want people to know exactly what it is, you could make a key. Lots of maps have keys. Lots of maps don't have keys. And I'm going to put this one with the clock. It's the clock maker's house. And this is the ice cream shop. And this green shape equals the park. Now, I want to make a tree. And the best way I know to make a tree is to plop down a popsicle stick. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to plop down a popsicle stick. And I'm going to find my scissors. And I'm just going to cut out kind of a tree shape. Hope I'm not turning my back to you the whole time. Trying not to. There. Are you coming along? Are you making a map of your backyard? Are you making a map of going from your house to the lake? And there's my tree. And I could do another tree too. I could do a second tree. All right. So that's kind of how you go about making a map. And a map is special to you and to the person you want to show it to. So those are the details you would include, things that you want others to know about. And so why don't you go ahead And you can pause the video and you can go ahead and keep working. And maybe you have some cool materials at your house that I didn't include that you could use. See, there's lots of trees at the park. There. And so that's kind of my map from my house to the park. And I'm going to get an ice cream on the way. One thing I didn't mention was that most maps have something on them that look like this. Right? And there's an N, and an S, and an E, and a W. Do you know what that is? That is called a compass rose. Most maps have those on there so that you know what direction you're going. The N stands for north, and the S stands for south. The E stands for east, and the W stands for west. And then you could even do something like this and put these little symbols and a little cross in the middle, and this would be N-E, northeast. And then we would have W-E, east, north, N-E, sorry, N-W. Miss Lisa's losing it. N-W for northwest. And then we would have S-E for southeast and S-W for southwest. And so you see, by using this, you can see what directions you have to walk. Now, if I was doing it correctly, I probably would have this be tipped because that way really is north on my map. But I just want you to know about these things. You don't have to have it perfect. You don't have to have it exact. But now you know that this is called a compass rose. And compass roses have been kind of an art installation in many people's homes. You'll see north, south, east, west little things on top of people's roofs. You'll see them in books. You'll see them in maps. Sometimes like people on boats will have them on their boat. And so that is what our next project is about. I'm just going to take this down. And I'm going to go on to do the next project. So the next bundle in your packet of materials looks like this, and it says compass. And what it contains is a piece of construction paper, just a regular little piece of construction paper. You probably have that at home, right? And it has some different colored pieces of construction paper. And I gave you one pretty piece of paper. And then it has some tracers. It has a circle tracer, and it has a larger pointy tracer and a smaller pointy tracer. And what those are going to be used for is to make a simple compass rose. Let me show you how we're going to do that. Now, if you're still working on your map, please pause the video and come back to us and make the compass rose when you're ready and you have time. And I am looking for my tape. There it is. And I am going to tape up this piece of construction paper so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let me see if I do this. There. Okay, can you see that? Perfect. Now, the first thing in the compass is the center, right? So you need to decide what you want to use for a center. Do you want to use a piece of your paper, or do you want to use, your plain construction paper or your decorative paper? It doesn't matter. You can design this however you want because this is your very own compass rose. So I'm going to take my marker and I am going to trace the circle. So I'm tracing the circle. Okay. And now I'm going to get my scissors. And again, you need scissors and glue to do this project, and I didn't provide those, but I think everything else is in there if you did go and get a packet. And if you didn't, I bet that you have these things right at home. So now I'm cutting out a circle. And I'm going to get ready to put it down on the paper. What happened? Am I still videoing? Yes. All right. It's going to go like this. There. Okay. And now, these are the points. Remember how I said it was north, south, east, west? Well, we need to cut out 4 of these. Now you can use any color you want. You can make it as pretty as you want, or as plain as you want, as simple as you want. So I need my marker again. And I need to trace out 4 of these. I think I'm going to do 2 green and 2 orange. Okay, so I'll show you in a second what I'm doing. Just tracing it out. And I'm doing green and orange. And you think about what colors you want. I'm not sure exactly what colors I supplied in every bag. They may be all different. So you can go ahead and pick. Okay. There's no right or wrong way to do this except that it has to have a center and it has to have 4 points. And you can do it however you want. So now I'm going to just cut out my pieces. I'm being quiet while I'm cutting. There. Okay, so now I have 2 orange pieces, and I'm going to cut out my green pieces. And are you planning out your compass rose on how you want it to be? All right. Let's see. Okay. Now I have the points of my compass rose. And I'm going to tape them on. I'm taping them on right now, but you can glue them down. I would recommend using glue, but I'm using tape because I think it's quicker for me for demonstrating this to you. You do what you feel comfortable doing. I think glue would be better. All right. So I'm going to put my north there. And I'm going to put my south here. And I think the other points, east and west, are going to be orange. Here's orange. And here's another one. Okay, so there you have a very simple compass rose. And you can design this however you want. You could get really fancy with your letters. You could do, you know, a fancy N and a fancy S. And the same with east and west. Okay. Let me just stand here. There. Now, remember I told you there were all those other little points on the compass rose? If you want to go a step further, you could make the northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast points using the smaller little pointy piece tracer that I gave you and paper. And it really looks quite cool. Let me see here. I think I did some earlier to show you. Here they are. Here's one I did totally out of magazine pages. I didn't give you a magazine to do this with, but you definitely could ask Mom if she had a magazine that you could use. And what I did was I cut out the circle and all the points from a magazine. And then I made the smaller points from magazine. Is that very pretty? That one's kind of an elaborate one. Then I did a really simple one. Here's my really simple one. Just the 4 points with some colored construction paper. Real easy, real simple. And those are my compass roses. And feel free to pause the video and you can go ahead and finish up your compass rose. I am going to make one more point so that I can show you what I'm talking about. And let's see, I'm going to cut this out from the pretty paper, which I gave you some. But like I said, you can use newspaper. You could use a magazine page that Mom says is okay for you to use, Mom or Dad, or whoever your grown-up is with you today. And then they would go in between, like that, you see? And that would be north, east. And so I will let you finish up your compass rose, and I'm going to finish up mine before we wind this up. And I give you my secret message. Did you notice that in your packet there's a secret message? We're going to do that last. Okay. And then I'm going to just kind of quickly trace this out, cut it. All right. So you can glue this down. Do here, go right here in between, and almost done. I'm going to put up another piece. One final piece, and then I am done my compass rose. But if you're not done your compass rose, you can go ahead and pause your video and make your compass rose with the materials that you got with your bag. Okay? Great. Here's my final piece of my compass rose. And then all I need to do is to mark them. So this would be northwest, this would be southwest, and this would be southeast. Isn't it pretty? They really are quite beautiful once you get them done. All right. So, all that's left in the materials packet is the secret message that I sent to you. Secret message. So if you didn't get a packet from the library with the materials, you won't have a secret message. But once I do this, I will tell you how you can make a secret message, okay? Really very, very, very simple. So let me take down my compass rose. And let me put up, gotta find my tape. Let me put up my secret message and make sure I put it on the right side. Oh, there it is, okay. All right. So, I hope I have it the right way up. Not sure, because I can't see it, because it's a secret message, so we'll see. All right, here we go. Let's see if my secret message comes true, and you do yours. So in your bag, you had a secret message and a marker, and this is what the marker's for. You could also use watercolors if you didn't want to use the marker for some reason, and you had watercolors. But I think all you need to do is, can you see the message coming through? I'll hold it up closer to the camera in a second. It will, so if you just color, you're going to see a secret message coming across. Oh, look at that. It's coming out. What am I trying to tell you? And there's my secret message. Can you see it? hold it up closer to the camera. It says, find map books in nonfiction 912. In the nonfiction section, map books are put in the 912s. All the nonfiction is filed by their subject in categories under the Dewey Decimal System, and the number for maps is 912. And that's my secret message to you. If you want to make a secret message for yourself to give to somebody else, all you need is a piece of white cardstock paper and a white crayon, and you write your message using the white crayon. I did have a white crayon somewhere here, but it has escaped me. You write your message using your white crayon on the white paper. It's very hard to see, so too many words would be difficult. But white paper, white crayon. Then you hand it to the person. You say, here's my secret message. And you give them the hint to use a marker to find out what it says. And voila. Once they color it in with their marker, they've got their message. I've had a lot of fun with you today doing Project Fun Video. I hope you got excited about maps as much as I have been. And I look forward to our next Project Fun Video.